Hello and welcome to Seismic Cinema. So put your feet up on the Iron Throne, but watch you don't cut yourself. Grab some ointment because that burn looks nasty, and get yourself onto NHS 24 as we try and diagnose what's up with the king.
Creative for just 5 minutes.
Yep, definitely. So we are going to review, and I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, the first episode of The House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. It's been a long time coming. Weren't sure how it was going to go, but yeah, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, we've not discussed this at all, so I'll be interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I
So
can
will
tell
we
by
do
your Facebook posts and your Instagram posts that you're buzzing for it anyway.
will we do a will we do a short non-spoiler review to give to double our audience for people who haven't seen it yet?
Nah, if they haven't watched it, they shouldn't be watching this.
Nah, let's do a wee non-spoiler segment, eh?
Ah, right, okay. I don't know how I'm going to do that though, but all
Well,
right,
just
we'll go for it.
general things. So first things first, I'd say I think the acting's been top notch so far.
Yeah, it's quite a good cast. It's quite a lot of British actors, isn't it?
So you've got Paddy Considine from Hot Fuzz and The World's End. You've got it's Matt Smith, isn't it?
Matt Smith from Doctor Who and
He's in he's in The Crown as
Morbius.
well.
The Crown. I never watched that. Never watched that. It's got a couple of Scottish guys as well
Who's
representing.
that?
The knight that's I'm terrible at his names, by the way. Renaris.
Yeah.
Her kind of personal knight, her Kingsguard. He's Scottish, and of course the guy that's always talking about the money, he's Scottish. I think it was Lord Honey. No, Bees. I can't remember his name. Beeswell or something. He's Scottish. But yeah, it was actually quite a good recast. I was quite liked it.
I thought Smith and Considine were probably the standouts for me.
Yeah, well, they got the most screen time as well, but yeah, because I've not really seen Paddy Considine in a lot of stuff. It was just I think I've seen him in one of the Bourne films, and like I was saying, like Hot Fuzz. I've not really seen him in any kind of leading roles.
Yeah,
He actually pulled it off pretty well.
yeah, I thought it was really good. And what were your thoughts on the music?
I never really noticed the music that much until the end. To be honest, I never really heard much. What about you?
There was wee hints of the original Game of Thrones theme, I would say, at the start of the episode as well.
Yeah. Can you hear that screeching?
No.
That's fine then. That's just Mando crying away.
So anything else? Non-spoilers?
I thought it was a good mix of action, and story. So I like my action. So yeah, it was a good balance of that.
It was fast paced, wasn't it? It had me from like the first scene all the way through. And even though it was quite a long first episode, I think the other ones will probably be shorter. It left me just really wanting more and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I think if you're into your Game of Thrones, I think like if you're really into your Game of Thrones and you know like all the characters and all the kind of stories and all the kind of ancestry and stuff, um, I think they'll love it. But on cue as always, Mando.
I don't think you need to know. I don't think you really need to know the story though, because Jordan watched it and he hasn't seen Game of Thrones and he really enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Because I like my Game of Thrones, but like, I've got to read the books of it, and some of the stuff, like when they're talking, they fire a lot of information at you pretty quick. Like this is so and so from so and so. Can you hear that now?
yes,
2 seconds. 2 seconds. You carry the show for 2 seconds.
I think Paul needs to get himself some direwolves instead.
Well, I think they'd make more noise.
So carrying the show. Well, we're hoping to. This is going to come out on Thursday, and we're hoping to release a ranking of our favorite episodes on Monday. So that's the plan, and that's me stalling for time. I think Paul's back now.
Yeah, good carrying. Good carrying. Yeah. So like I was saying, uh, I like my Game of Thrones, but they do fire a lot of stuff at you a lot of very quickly. So like there's people from places that I wasn't really familiar with, and see if I didn't have the subtitles on, I would have no idea like what they said.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing though, because it gives it rewatchability, and that when you do a rewatch, you do recognize a lot more of the names the second time or third time round.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I quite like connecting the dots, because you'll hear about a character in season one that becomes important in like season 5.
Yeah,
I know.
I get that. I get that. It's because I'm so out of practice from watching Game of Thrones. I was kind of like, oh man, this is like when they said somebody's name, I was like, all right, he's related to such and such kind of thing. I was just
I
trying to
like
figure out.
I like just being back in the world in general.
Yeah, yeah,
Just going
and
back to King's Landing.
the sets and the costumes are top notch, is just like the original. So I'm glad they kept the same production values.
Yeah, you know, I've been looking forward to this for a while, but not maybe as much as I should have. But I'm really, I don't know about you, but I'm really on board for the whole thing now. Like, give us 3, 4 seasons.
Yeah, I think I'm in it for a long haul as well. I wasn't looking forward to it as much. I seen that you were like really into it, and it wasn't until we started these kind of Game of Thrones rankings that I thought, you know what, it's probably the hype train started. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely looking forward to it now. It was a really strong start.
I was telling my department at work to watch it today, because like a few people are not as keen because of how Game of Thrones ended. But for those people who are thinking that, just give it a chance. Watch the first episode, and I think you'll be where we are.
Yeah, even Scarlett watched it, and she jacked the original Game of Thrones, I think, in season 3.
Really, your mum and dad watched it yet? Or going to watch it?
I don't know. I've not spoken to them today. I'd imagine so, because they've
You're
got Sky
obsessed.
up there, so and they love their Game of Thrones. Like they'll just rewatch seasons over and over again, saying there's nothing to do. They'll just watch seasons.
Yeah. So I think that was decent non-spoiler coverage, but I'm quite keen to get into discussing the nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty and lots of nitty gritty.
Yes, this is going to be our biggest challenge yet, Paul, reviewing Game of Thrones without getting too morbid.
Too morbid, too raunchy.
Yeah, that's you. That's you cancelled. So, where do you want to start?
From the beginning.
No, let's not start from the beginning, because we'll start doing what we normally do and just telling the whole story, and that just won't be enjoyable for anybody.
I don't know. How about we go for your favourite points? What was your favourite scene?
I really like the scene where, so by the way, spoilers now for the episode ahead. Viserys, King Viserys, because the other Viserys we know is the Daenerys' big brother, isn't it?
Yeah, because they carry on the names quite a bit, don't they?
Yeah.
Because there's a Rickon Stark, isn't there?
Yeah, he's mentioned at the near the end as well. I liked when he decides that the daughter is going to be the heir, and he's telling basically the story of like the ice and fire, and bringing a lot of the mythos from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how like even back then there was this notion of the long night.
Yeah, And I think you need that. Like I saw like some comments somewhere. People are saying that that's did fan servicey, but I didn't really see it like that.
No, I thought it was maybe a bit cheesy. They called it A Song of Ice and Fire, right enough, but no,
Well,
I quite liked that.
that's what the book series is called.
I know, but like, just thought it was just because I was like, oh, that's the books. I wasn't sure if in the books they call it that as well, like when they're talking about the long night.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like that scene, and again, I think what they're doing so well and what they did so well in Game of Thrones was just how complex the characters are, and they've got a lot of depth to them. So, like, on the one hand, you could see Viserys is quite cruel and that he let his wife die, but then you also see that he didn't want to do that, and that he does care for his family as well.
Yeah, guys, it's like, what do you do for the realm? Like, he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, but he's got lost in this idea that he needs a son heir.
Mhm. I really felt for him, and more so his now deceased wife, because they've obviously went through a lot of experiences. And I must admit, I found the scene where it was the birth and the jousting. I found that bit really hard to watch. I don't know about you.
Oh, the medieval C-section.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I think when I will rewatch this show. I already have rewatched this episode, but I really did find that quite a difficult scene, and I'm sure quite a few people did.
Oh, it was really grim. Like, you can imagine it now being these days being bad enough, but back then, or not even back then, just in general with no modern technology, it must be horrendous.
You know, I just felt like uneasy when it was happening. Like you knew what was going to happen, and she didn't know what was happening, and it was just very intense.
Yeah, because one minute she's kind of just a bit delirious from like all the kind of was it the milk of the poppy they're giving her,
Yeah,
and then the next minute she kind of realizes what's happening, and Paddy Considine is just like, oh, don't be scared, whilst they're slicing her open.
because he could have saved her if, like, it was basically her or the baby, wasn't it? And
I
he
thought it was a
chose
choice of it
instead.
was either the baby or they both die.
I thought that's what it was, but I've seen like, do you think that's what it was then? And it wasn't that he could have saved the wife.
I thought it was.
It probably
I'm not
was.
gonna.
Probably was the case. There was a scene. There was a line earlier in the episode. It was the I can't remember the mother's name, but there was the mother's was saying that their battlefield was in the kind of birthing room.
Yeah, Emma. Her name is Queen Emma.
So yeah, so she's gone. Obviously, the I didn't really realize it at first. It took me a wee bit longer. I probably should have to realize that the son didn't make it either, which was a bit of a twist.
Oh, did you not notice it until the funeral pyre?
No, not really.
What you see? You didn't see the big body and the wee body.
Well, I got there eventually. Yeah,
Were you sleepy
there
when you were
was.
watching
What's that?
it? Were you sleepy when you were watching it?
No, I was just kind of caught up in the whole show. It was cool seeing the jousting again because remember there was a scene like that. There was Robert Baratheon organized a tourney.
Yeah, yeah. Is that not really like the mountain in that? I think
Yeah,
have their like first fight or something. No.
because it was, and the scene where the small council are talking about the cost of it. There was a pretty much exactly the same scene with like Littlefinger in season one
Oh, was that? Right, okay. I don't
when they were
remember that.
discussing how much the tournament was going to cost.
Ah, these dogs. They're going to be the death of me in this podcast, you know that?
Yeah, that's why we've lost a subscriber over the last day.
Oh dear. 2
Uh,
seconds.
Down
Well,
to
carry on talking.
57.
I shall just mute myself and
Well, Okay, while Paul is doing that, I'm just going to give a shout out to a few friends of the channel. So, Review It Yourself is a podcast that we guested on recently, and we reviewed the horror film The Strangers, and that's now out on Spotify for you to check out. And we'd also like to give a shout out to our friend Ryan at Thoughts About Star Wars, who's no longer doing his show. We're going to miss it, and we really do hope to get you on again soon.
Hopefully, he likes Game of Thrones.
You should be paying me more for my flexibility and coming up with random things to say.
Well, once you start making money, I'll pay you. How about that?
Okay.
You can have the
So
percent. You can have the percentage. 55-45.
yes. So what else? What else was a standout, or was there anything you didn't like about the episode?
For me, I quite liked the scene with the gold cloaks when Damien takes him into the through King's Landing, just meeting out justice or his type of justice.
It was pretty. It just kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? It was. They just started just beating up the townsfolk, and it just.
Yeah,
It
beating them up and just cutting hands off, cutting other things off, and
happened
yeah,
so fast.
they actually needed a carriage for all the bits and pieces they cut off people to take
Yeah,
away.
I think that scene showed us that it was going to be exactly like Game of Thrones in terms of the brutality. You've muted yourself.
I know, sorry. My laptop takes a bit of an age to respond to what's going on in the world.
Yes.
So I really like that bit because I'm just a terrible person,
Yes.
and for some reason I like bad guys. Is it bad that I like Damon better than Viserys?
I liked them both, but I did think Damon was a great character. Like he had a few moments where he was quite nice to his niece at the funeral
Yeah.
and stuff. But then he's obviously got a bit of rage about him. I like to see when he was sitting on the throne.
Oh, at the start, and you don't see his face.
Yeah. It kind of he's basically like this series like Jamie Lannister, isn't he?
A wee bit, a wee bit. Hopefully, it doesn't. Oh no, it doesn't have any family members. That's fine.
Well, he does have family members. Talking about family members, there's the cousin who was like the queen that never was.
Oh yeah, the older one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
And what was it? The Lord
yeah.
Corlin. Can't remember what his name was. And he's like the Sea Master kind of thing.
You know, like Valerian, like that place that comes up a few times in Game of Thrones.
He could be. I've no idea.
I'm sure they
No, I
mentioned that in the episode. So there was a few shout outs. You mentioned there's a Rickon Stark. There was some Baratheons, wasn't there, at the
yeah,
jousting?
two brothers again.
And there was the guy from Dorne as well.
Oh yeah, the knight that wasn't a knight, or the knight that was like a common born or something.
Mm. No, I just was. I just enjoy getting back into it. Like I didn't think I really realized how much I missed the show until, like, I know this isn't Game of Thrones, but it is. Like it's the same
It
world.
is.
It's the same. It's just Game of Thrones but a different time period.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching Star Wars, like the original trilogy, and then you go back to the
Uh,
prequels.
the
It's all the foundation for what happened. Because like in Game of Thrones, you have all the myths and legends about the
yeah.
Targaryens, so we're getting to see it, which is good.
This is totally random, but I watched Force Awakens with the subtitles on last week. Just I had it on in the background when I was doing work, and I totally misheard a line for ages. So, see when Han's on the Millennium Falcon talking about Luke going missing, and he said he went
Yeah.
to hunt for the first Jedi temple.
Uh huh.
I thought Ray said the Jedi Warrior. Like I thought she was naming the original temple, like the Jedi Warrior. But when you look at the subtitles, and I only just realized this the other day, she said the Jedi were real.
You're weird.
Honestly, every time I've watched it, I thought they said warrior, and I thought it was some kind of temple. But she was just saying they were real.
Just have no words for you, Colin. Sometimes no words.
It was interesting though. So yeah, back to House of the Dragon. Need to stop talking about Game of Thrones so much and talk about the show itself. It should have been quite obvious what was going to happen to the mother and the son, because I think the promotion for the show it's basically a straight shootout between Damon and Rhaenyra. Was it Rhaenyra?
Rhaenyra, yeah, that was a bit. Excuse me, sorry.
Sneezing as well. So I think that's going to be the main premise for the show, obviously, at least season one, is those two vying for the throne.
Yeah, I do like that kind of that feeling though of nobody's safe and who's going to try and assassinate who. Like, see when the child was born,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to live for a wee while, and then I thought, oh, Damien's going to try and kill the kid, or somebody's going to try and kill the kid, so that somebody else can have a run at the throne.
Yeah.
So, but saying that, there still might be a chance that somebody did kill the kid. That it might just might not have died in normal circumstances.
Doesn't seem like that, but I like the way they're building up the cast list already, because there's the guy Hightower, who's the hand of the king,
Yeah.
who's a bit.
Every time I hear his name, I keep thinking of Hightower at Police Academy. Have you ever seen that?
No, there is Hightowers. I remember the name. I don't know if they were in the show, but they were definitely in the books or the show. So there was a bit of a strange scene where not long after the queen had died, where Hightower asked his daughter, who's the best friend of Rhaenyra's, to go and cheer the king up. So we won't
Yeah.
get into that. We won't get into that too much, but some some theories are he was basically trying to set up his daughter with the king, so
Yeah, definitely.
his grandchild can become king or queen, and he can basically secure his spot as the king's hand long term.
Oh, I definitely thought that was the power play. Like, he wasn't doing it to be a pal. He was definitely like, yeah, by the way, I'm pimping you out to the king. Work the business.
Okay, that's plenty. So I think he's one to watch. He's definitely going to play a part, I think, in the wider scheme of things.
Yeah, because like, see, up until that point, I thought he was the kind of upstanding one. That he was the one that was kind of best interests about for the realm. And then as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, he's in it for himself. He's in it for his family.
Yeah, if it is Westeros, so there is always something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and see his daughter as well. Did you think him and Rhaenyra had a wee thing going on?
Um,
Like
Possibly,
at the start, I thought it was like, oh, they're girlfriends.
yeah, but the Targaryens do have a wee bit of history with. Where are you away to now?
Just try to stop this dog barking at me.
Audio listeners must wonder why we just have random pauses where nothing happens.
Uh, like all the good podcasts do that. It's just that it's a bit it builds the tension.
Yes. So I'm just trying to think what else was not covered. Right, there was actually just one, and it's really minor downside to the first episode, and it's not even that important really. The dragons just take me out of it a bit. I just think they're so like we know dragons aren't real, but they're just so obviously CGI. I just feel like I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the CGI on this one. It was okay. I don't know. I don't know if it is the same as Game of Thrones. It just felt a wee bit kind of more obvious it was CGI, like you're saying, but it didn't bother me too much. Like, I enjoyed having them there. Like, if you didn't have dragons, because that's what they're famous for, then it would be kind of half a show, I think.
Yeah, and apparently they've got 10 dragons right now. So
Yeah,
Daenerys at the peak of her power, she had 3. So 10 seems quite a lot.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they all meet their demise. See,
The
which one was? What was the Mad King? Was that King? Was that Aegon or something? Or
the Mad King,
so
I
see
think
a
it
few
was.
generations down the line, a couple of generations down the line.
I actually did a bit of research into this just because I was curious because I wondered how close they were timeline wise to like the Mad King and
Uh-huh.
Rhaegar, etc. So apparently Rhaenyra's, hopefully we're getting her name right. I think she's the great 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 grandmother of Daenerys.
Right. Okay. Oh, so
That's
it's quite a wee bit down the line then.
that's six greats.
Okay. Cool. That's fine then. I wasn't sure how far down the line it was.
Well, it's 100. It's like 180 something years before Daenerys is born. I think.
Yeah, it was. That's right. Um,
Did you
so
like
did
the
you
wee
follow?
intro that Rhaenyra's did? The wee voiceover.
Yeah, yeah. Quite looking forward to her character. Actually, she's interesting. She looks
Yeah,
like she's going to make a really good, like, just a really good actress.
she wants to be. She wants to be a warrior too. I think she mentioned that in the episode.
I think she'd rather be a warrior than royalty.
Yeah, we've been talking about rewatching Game of Thrones just because it just this. Although, because this is only going to be out once a week, it does give you that wee buzz to rewatch the show.
It does a wee bit, actually. Yeah, I do. I do miss the political intrigue of it all.
Be interested if there's any Lannisters.
Well, yeah, I've not seen any, have we, so
No,
far?
there's been Baratheons, Starks, Targaryens, someone from Dorne.
Yeah, I seen a Bolton in the tourney.
Aye.
I seen the shield with the their banner on it. So there's been a few. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what characters come into it and what parts they play.
I'll just be interested to see where the wider story goes. Do you think they'll stay? So this is probably a good time for predictions for the future. Do you think they'll stay at King's Landing, or do you think they'll venture to other parts of the kingdoms?
I think they'll venture. I think was Damon not been banished to the Vale?
I think they tried to do that to him. I think that was in the past.
Uh, I thought they
But
did that. After he said like "air for a day."
yeah, he is leaving because there was that bit with him at the Dragons at the end. So
Yeah, and is he
he's
taking that
obviously,
person from the brothel with him as well?
I don't know. You need to ask him.
No, just because she was there with the dragon. I'm assuming that.
Yeah, is that not his wife?
I thought that was a brothel.
Because
The brothel.
he does have a wife. So
I think it's the brothel woman.
right. Have you got
So
any
I
other
don't know if
big?
we can do something to her.
Have you got any other big predictions moving forward, or is it quite early doors?
uh, oh, I think Viserys is going to die of whatever that thing on his back is.
Oh yeah, that doesn't
What is
sound
that?
too good,
Tamer?
does it?
Uh,
A theory I've heard is that it's basically he keeps cutting himself on the chair on the throne
whoever put Cher has not done a good job.
because they said there was a line about being on that chair is like the most dangerous place you can be in the Seven Kingdoms.
Just quite literally sitting on it, you might die.
Yeah, basically.
Get some
So
get some cushions, man. Get some cushions.
wonder who else we'll see. Maybe we'll see some Tarleys and Mormonts. I'm sure there'll be more coming up.
Yeah. Hopefully see some more Starks. Like I like the Starks.
Yeah, because he's got the exact same name as young Rickon that can't zigzag.
Oh, that boy. See if he just serpentined a little bit. Jesus.
Well, I've it's definitely brightened up Monday evenings for the next 9 weeks. So Mondays I'm usually quite tired and usually got a sore head after a long day at work. So this
No, I did.
definitely picks it up a bit.
I'm getting that buzz back again that I used to get in the old Game of Thrones when
Yeah.
used to like But it was like one of the things you just like, can the weekend be over so Game of Thrones can be on?
Yeah, no. Oh well, that's where rewatching the series can come back into it. So I thought it'd be good just before we finish off a ranking of the episode. I'm going to go right in, and I'm going to go 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10, whatever scale we're doing. I just don't really think it could have been much better. Like it was at the right balance of the. We all love the kind of conversations they have in Game of Thrones, like the wee quiet conversations where they're battling with words. I had
Yeah,
the dragons, I had the violence, I had the drama. I don't think I've seen. I might even say ever. I don't know if I've ever seen a first episode of a show as good as that.
Mandalorian.
No,
No, yeah.
have you? Can you think like the first episode of Game of Thrones was good, but I think this probably better than the first episode of that.
To be honest, I can't really remember the first Game of Thrones. I remember just like
It ends with Bran getting
White
pushed out.
Walkers at the start.
It ends with Bran getting pushed out the window.
That was quite a good episode, right enough.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so what would you? So I've given it 10 out of 10. What were you?
Probably give it.
This is where you
No.
take some points off for non-existent reasons, isn't it?
Yeah. 9.
Okay,
9
what
out
did
of
you
10.
think
9
there?
out of 10.
The dragons, was that it?
No. Literally, there's big holes in the wall where Damon could listen to a king's meeting and nobody seen him. Very implausible for me. Very implausible.
But it led to a lot of tension.
I know, but if you're having like a big meeting of like your top council, then somebody can just stand there and listen to the big holes in the wall and be like, well, okay.
You're unbelievable.
But, you know what? I did like the joust. Right, 9.5. 9.5.
Alien spoke up for the first time in the episode to say that she agrees with you
Thank you. Voice of reason, majority.
about the holes in the wall.
Yeah. He's basically just like next door to them listening to everything that they're saying.
Well, I thought it was very dramatic.
Exactly. See, that's it. The whole
That's why
point of
That's why I'm marrying her.
it. But yeah, so 9. I'll go for 9.
Okay, fair enough.
Final
I'll let you
offer.
know. Can I just, before I forget to mention this, Paul, what do you think of my clothes that I'm wearing tonight?
Croatia top from 2004.
It's actually a fakey Croatia top. Not sure what year, but I actually wore it on purpose because for this podcast. Do you know why?
Because King's Landing is filmed in Croatia.
Yeah. Do you like that wee subtle nod?
Yep, I do.
I basically wanted to wear that Game of Thrones t-shirt I wore on the other one, but I think it's in the wash, so I decided to wear this as a substitute.
Nice.
I actually just went through to my cupboard to find a football top to wear, and I saw it, and I went, "Oh, I can make that link."
Tie it in. Well, do you want to know why I've got a crying Dalmatian in my arms?
No. Yes.
I can think of what it is to say, but yeah. Got a crying Dalmatian arms because he's just nosy and he wants to be in the podcast.
That's not really got anything to do with the show, but okay. Right, I think we'll finish off there. So this is coming out on Thursday, the 25th of August. And I just want to give a few shout outs to just podcast YouTube channels I love because I probably hear a lot of my points off them. So I want to give them a bit of credit. So Christian Harloff's always been a big icon of mine, Paul. I was on that Jedi Council YouTube channel I used to watch all the time.
Yeah, you've mentioned it a lot.
You should subscribe to him. He's got his own channel. John Campia, who was also on Jedi Council, he's got his own show as well now. Sean Chandler, a guy I watch a lot of his stuff. He does a lot of kind of this kind of stuff, and totally random, but just what it's in my head. Any football fans, give Big CG Novo a subscribe because that guy's a legend.
Like who?
CJ Novo is a Rangers YouTuber.
Colin, stop turning this into a Rangers channel.
I'm giving
I
I'm
won't
just
have
giving
it.
some.
I won't have it.
Well, what's your favorite Morton podcast then?
Just one Cornetto.
Is that a real thing?
Yes. David McKinnon does it.
Oh, is it? There you go.
So, ha.
Give them a subscribe as well. Right, so on Monday we are hoping to release a ranking probably of the best episodes. We might change our mind. We were originally going to do She-Hulk. If you want to see a She-Hulk review, then hit us up. And I think that'll do us for this evening. So I'm really looking forward to next week watching episode 2. Paul, maybe have you over for one of the episodes so you can watch it without constant buffering.
Yeah. That'd be nice. We're doing the plugs. We forgot the plugs.
Yes, the plugs. So social media, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We have now got over 1,000 followers on Twitter, which is fantastic. We did have 58 subscribers on YouTube, but we've lost one today, which is really sad. So please subscribe if you've enjoyed the content, and even if you haven't, a pity subscribe wouldn't go amiss. We're
R.I.P. that
also,
one subscriber.
I know, come back, and we're also on lots of other podcasting places such as Anchor, which is still somewhere we use to post to other platforms like Spotify, Good Pods, who put us in their top rankings for some reason. Audible, which is really cool, seeing us up beside the likes of the Harry Potter books and other ones as well. Our ranking of the Game of Thrones houses randomly got over like 1,200 views. We still don't have a clue, and we thought Game of Thrones was the way to go, but our ranking of the characters is only at 30 views. So yeah, check out both videos, and if anyone can explain the YouTube algorithm, then that'd be greatly appreciated.
I know we're going to dine off that forever, I think.
Yes, it was a good moment, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fruits of the labor.
I know. God bless all those people that thought we were something else.
And all our friends in Pakistan and India. So, Paul, you're going to finish off by saying what our slogan is?
Yes. It is the power of dragons and imagination.
Okay, we'll finish off there. Thank you for listening or watching.
Listening.